hope you're doing well, and welcome to this Friday broadcast here on the Costa Rica Matt Show. It can be nearly impossible to find Guanacaste homes under $500,000 these days, and it is my ongoing quest to provide you with reasonably priced inventory. Today we're going over 6 more Guanacaste homes that are for sale under $500,000, with the lowest price being $215,000 and the highest amount being $470,000. We're going to be looking at areas that are south of Playa Tamarindo to find these homes. When you get outside of tourism hubs in Guanacaste, you tend to find more reasonable prices for real estate, and you frequently find that these kinds of listings are going to be in quieter communities. Specifically, today, the listings we're going to examine will be in between the community of Los Pargos / Playa Negra, which is the surf spot, really awesome, double overhead, amazing waves just to the north here of Playa Junquillal. And then we will look at some listings here in Junquillal, our quiet community down here just 30 minutes south of Tamarindo. We're also just an hour and 30 minutes away from the Guanacaste International Airport, so all of these listings are very accessible. I wanted to mention, I had a video in May of this year where I did 10 homes under $500,000. As I reviewed that video, it actually turns out there may have just been 9. But first, I wanted to provide a status update so that you can get an idea of the status of those properties today. And if you look to this useful infographic that I made here on my right, of the properties we featured on that May broadcast, you've got a few that have gone under contract, a couple that have sold, one that has had an offer and not gone to negotiations, and really, basically 5 or 6 of them that are still on the market. You do see fairly quick momentum with these listings selling faster than others. So it's important, if you want to find out more information about these listings and possibly make a move on them, do be sure to send me an email to matt@costaricamatt.com. If you're just starting to look and consider Guanacaste for your investment, if you still just need more information, do be sure to subscribe to my channel. I have over 400 videos on Costa Rica, moving here, taxes, residency, everything. Greatly appreciate you subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you can find out when my new videos are out there. Let's go to our first home in Guanacaste today and start out with the most reasonable end of our price spectrum. This is a place I showed this home a ton over the last few weeks because my colleague Camille, who was the listing agent, was on vacation. We're talking about a simple home tucked back in sort of a back roads area here nearest to what would be either Playa Callejones or Playa Blanca, our white sand beach. We call it Casa Mango because you have some amazing mango trees on the property. And what I absolutely love about this property is that, first of all, not being in a gated community, you don't have any HOA fees or to deal with. You don't have to deal with that homeowners organization, which can frequently be sort of, a difficult organization to deal with. You also have a really nice half-acre lot, or close to half-acre. It's 1,700 square meters. And the position of the home, this is a lucky lot. They bought a property right on the corner of a back road where really just by good, good circumstances, you don't get a lot of traffic passing by you because people who would be coming to this road can take different ways, and people who are going to other locations wouldn't use your home's corner as a through road. So it's a very quiet spot. $215,000 gets you this. It's not a mansion. It's not filled with the fanciest stuff on earth, but it's a turnkey, ready home here on half an acre. You could actually subdivide the property if that were in your interest, because there's public road frontage around the whole thing. You do have hens and a little setup for chickens there already on the property. You've got a beautiful pool that was added. It's a new pool, really nice size too. And it is just a comfortable Guanacaste home where you're a 10-minute bike ride to a couple amazing beaches. You've got the simple life. You've got tons of fruit trees on the property, a little rancho out there for your barbecues and enjoying the outdoors. And overall, just a really pleasant home here in our neck of the woods. That is Casa Mango, or Casa Mango if you prefer the English style pronunciation. Next, we're going to a home that's only $309,000. I'm talking about Casa Ibisa, which has one of the most comfortable interiors of our current Guanacaste homes for sale. Here you're on a quarter-acre property, once again in a very quiet location. By virtue of the fact that this road is not a major highway, you don't have a lot of people passing by your home. It was recently built. They have, it's actually Spanish owners who are Spanish and influenced owners, let's just say that. And you can see in the interior of the home, they've done a beautiful job creating a fresh, welcoming, warm space. I actually have a 3D tour for this property if you would like to check that out. You've got just absolutely good space, good proportions, and everything is decorated with that new modern home and garden magazine sort of feel. In the bedrooms, one of the interesting things that they've done is laid out the home with a lock-off at present. This is the second bedroom that is actually accessible from the outdoors. Here you've got the door into the sort of lock-off suite. So you could live in the main space and rent this suite out as a single room. And then they have this utterly perfect back porch where you're looking back into the woods and a nature reserve called Pura Jungla. You have your beautiful pool. Everything is well done. They recently tiled the porch so that it's completely finished out there. There's a half bath out by the pool for your parties and so that everybody's comfortable. And the home is, again, in one of these locations that's tucked into the woods, yet you're just a 10-minute drive out to a bunch of different beaches. You could be down at the surf in Playa Negra in 10 or 15 minutes. You could be up to Playa Avellanas in probably 15 or 20 minutes. Or you could come down here to Junquillal in another short drive, really just 10 minutes there at Casa Ibisa, which has a $309,000 asking price. We have also received already an offer on Casa Ibisa. That did not go to contract, but we are still plugging and chugging along here. Next, I actually have two listings that have not yet hit the market. And I was supposed to mention that before we started talking here. These two are going to come on the market here as soon as we can get the photos published, etc. And first, I want to go to a great surfer's paradise property here in Playa Negra. I'm going to show you the location first so that you get an idea. We're calling this property Casa Arena, which was sort of the seller's name for it. Arena in Spanish is sand. It's located right here in a private neighborhood just off the main road in the community of Los Pargos. Now, Los Pargos is the community that is at Playa Negra. Playa Negra right here has your amazing top 5 surf break. This is a place that people come from around the world to see. And this new listing that will be my colleague Camille's listing is just a couple blocks walking distance down to the beach at Playa Negra. You can see from the area that there is not a lot of homes that are that close to the water in Negra. And it's simply because of the geography of Playa Negra and Los Pargos. Also because of the fame of the surf break, you find that real estate that's very close to the water itself is going to be very expensive, and little lots for sale in here haven't been at a price point where people have been able to buy them and build their own home. You do also have a massive teak farm in Los Pargos. This is property that hasn't been split up and is still just one massive teak plantation. So again, you just don't have many homes. For our tour here, we're going to be taking a look at Casa Arena, which is going to have a listing price of $359,000. They have a wonderful It is a straightforward 3-bedroom home. Oh, there you can see our photographer. We were doing the photo shoot for Casa Arena yesterday. It's a simple, straightforward property. You've got 3/4 of an acre of land, so you have a very nice lot size. You're not on top of your neighbors. You have 3 bedrooms in the home. One of them was that gym that we just saw. Here's one of the bedrooms at the back of the house. Here's the shared bathroom there with the laundry. And here's the 3rd bedroom there at the other side of the back of the house. It has this lovely open floor plan. So in the main space of the home that we'll eventually go to, you're in an open kitchen, dining, and living space. And the property is really just finished out. You've got, I'll go back to the video here and show, you also have this carport and workshop outside. You pull out here, and again, it's a location that offers you the opportunity to be just a quick, 1-minute drive to the main road, yet you're tucked off the main road in what is a private agricultural community, or lots that were segregated under that agricultural system here. So they're big properties. It's a quiet neighborhood where you're not seeing business or high density development, and you're just a couple minutes out there to Playa Negra. One of the things that is spectacular about that town, it's very laid back, quiet. You don't see a ton of people there, and yet there are amazing world-class restaurants. You have Via Divina that's been reviewed by the New York Times. You've got Mycelium, this new absolutely sort of fusion, amazing place. Both of those are very high-end, fancy restaurants. You also have Cafe Playa Negra, amazing Peruvian food. You've got a pizza and local food place called La Buena Vida, Jalapenos, a little place with burritos, tacos, etc. So even in this really small, relaxed town, you have amazing places to eat. I should also mention Corazon Cafe. They've got great breakfast stuff, but then also leading into the area's best burgers. Really the best burger that I've found in our area down south here. J&O, thanks very much for joining us. I will be asking your answering your question here once we get through our listings, because if I don't keep chugging along, we may never finish these 6 homes under $500,000 here in Guanacaste. Our next listing, we're going to jump up. We went from Arena in Playa Negra for $359,000. We have a second pocket listing, or one that's not yet exposed to the public. And now we are in one of my favorite gated communities here in Junquillal. This is in Tierra Pacifica. Tierra Pacifica is an eco-gated community where they've got good amenities. They have security 24/7. They roped off 80 acres of the 220 total as green zones, so you have a lot of forest. You also have underground power and internet lines, so you're allowed to have the forest canopy in the community is much more covered. And we are about to list in Tierra Pacifica Casa Monitos here. And again, I only have this informal video walking through the home because we don't have the listing profile done yet. Casa Monitos, again, is another simple 2-bedroom home where you're just over 1,000 square feet of living space. In fact, here we're at a total of 1,200, if I'm not mistaken. Around the back, you see they added this wonderful screened-in patio where you're going to end up spending most of your time. Let's go in, and you can see that Casa Monitos was built by the quality, sort of custom builder in Junquillal. This kind of construction nowadays easily costs $170 per square foot. You've got hardwood ceilings, cabinetry, really a full concrete build that is done with a high level of quality and with experienced contractors who are doing really good work that they've done 1,000 times before. Here is that screened in back porch. That's the absolute perfect space for enjoying Guanacaste and being able to go out there, any time of year, despite the bugs. Here's one of the bedrooms. It's a very simple floor plan with the guest suite on one side of the home and the primary suite on the other. I'll see if we do get over. Here's the primary suite. They have a lovely porch as well off of the main bedroom, and I think here we're going to walk through it. This used to be an open space on our left-hand side outside of the main bedroom, and they screened in that space as well. So you have a second porch here looking out at Casa Monitos in Tierra Pacifica. All of the properties in Tierra Pacifica have 1.25 acres or more of land, and Monitos is no exception. Casa Monitos is going to be on the market at $429,000. In Tierra Pacifica, you've seen closings of 2-bedroom homes everywhere from $415,000 all the way through $515,000 over the last 3 years. So at Monitos, they're really in that market value range. Absolutely, they're going to be on the more affordable side of the listings in Tierra Pacifica that you see from now going forward, simply because it's hard to build and replace these homes for the same prices that you could build back in the day when they were put together. So really, I don't think that in the future it will be possible to have high quality custom homes built in Tierra Pacifica and also available for sale at $430,000 and less. Your current open lot for sale in Tierra Pacifica starts at a minimum of $170,000 to give you an idea there. Let's jump out of Tierra Pacifica for a moment. I want to go to a non-gated property here. We're talking about Casa Campo De Suenos, or really the name of it is just Campo De Suenos. One of my favorite things about this home, besides the fact that you're not in a gated community and you're just living your own sort of independent life, you're actually just 75 yards from one of the area's best local restaurants, that is Restaurante Latino. They serve casados that are brilliant and perfect every single time. If you're in our area and you like casados, Restaurante Latino would be one of the top places I recommend, and they're open for lunch all year round. Campo de Suenos here also sits on a 3/4 acre lot. That would be almost the exact same size as Casa Arena that we had looked at up in Playa Negra. You've got almost 1 acre of land. You have public road frontage, so you could build more or open a business, or you could have, little rental suites, cabinas, etc. They have a beautiful pool there. The home has been updated to give it that Airbnb, calling, sort of, that was a Spanish translation there, or trying to translate llamativo into English. But anyhow, these fresh, welcoming spaces are the kinds of things that buyers or Airbnb guests click on more than other properties. So it's a good Airbnb property, and there at Campo de Suenos, you're really just a quick 5-minute drive down to a gorgeous little spot called Playa Callejones. You can also get down to Playa Negra quickly or Junquillal quickly, but your closest beach is Callejones. Callejones is one of those places where, somebody who had been to Florida or different developed tourist destinations would just, have their jaw dropping at how cute, quaint, and, undiscovered the little spot feels. You've got a few cabins, you have some homes down by the beach that are all owned by locals, and still the local families lived there. There's a little bit of fishing happening at Callejones, and it just feels like one of these absolutely perfect spots on earth where you want to sit and have anywhere between 1 and 7 or 8 beers. We're going to finally conclude with our 6th home under $500,000 today and jump back into Tierra Pacifica, that gated community where we were looking at Casa Monitos. Now, Casa Jardin at $470,000 has a few things over Casa Monitos at $429,000. First and foremost, you can see on the right-hand side, you've got a garage that's a 2-car carport. It also has a workshop, and this workshop is filled with an impressive array of tools that are organized, clean, hanging right, just absolutely the craftsman's dream for a new home. You could move here and start your first DIY projects the next minute. Casa Jardin is on, just like Monitos, it is on an interior lot in Tierra Pacifica, meaning none of your edges are outside of Tierra Pacifica or bordering public property. You've got, this is the back side of the house where actually you own everything looking back down into the forest. So you've got your private forested sort of secluded spot. And again, you can see this was done by the custom builder with absolute high quality. And it's been upgraded in every way over the last few years. Every door and window in the place has been changed out for new, higher quality doors. They actually opened up the floor plan in what was originally a broken up house. So in between these spaces, there used to be sliders, and this whole patio was outdoors. That really just transformed this property from its former self. And now you can see you've got just one brilliant one brilliant open space. Here's that shed with all the tools. I'm going to see if I can bring up here our Matterport tour. Oh, it's not going to come up in this one. Give me 1 second, folks, and I should be able to find it here. We'll take our 3D tour here in Casa Jardin so you can see how that open floor plan feels. We just stepped inside the Matterport tour now, and you can see that the open floor plan really creates just a nice space. Your dining area is back here. You've got interior sort of reading room, the living room, and your kitchen. One of the things that they really did well here was upgrading the kitchen. And let me see if I can get back here. Standing in the middle of the kitchen and looking around, you can see that it's just a real chef's kitchen in a real home built for people who want to actually live here and enjoy being in their property. If you'd like to schedule a virtual Matterport tour of Casa Jardin or any of the homes that we've seen, I do have 360-degree models of most of these properties. Do be sure to send me an email to matt@costaricamatt.com. We can set up that virtual showing, walking around the property and answering your questions. Finally, I did have a viewer ask, what is the rate for real estate agents in Costa Rica? We are quoted 9% in Massachusetts, 4% in Canada. In my area, JNO, which is Guanacaste, most agents and most listings are happening with a 6% total commission paid, which covers both a buyer's agent and the listing agent in the event of a dual brokered sale. You are seeing a lot of people, if they're listing luxury properties above $1 million or so, frequently the total commission paid might drop down to 5%. And whether they split that or a seller's agent gets a little bit more, that can depend on the listing contract. Now, there are areas of Costa Rica where I have seen realtors charging 8%. When you get very low dollar amounts for listings, there are times when brokerages will say, our commission has to be a flat amount or a very high percentage and able to do this feasibly. As a realtor every year, I can probably handle about 25 to 30 transactions where I'm actually paying individualized, really focused attention to it. And you can imagine how quickly I would go out of business if I were selling 25 properties at $25,000 a piece and making 3% on those $25,000 sales. $750 a sale times 25 properties would not put shoes on my kids' feet, unfortunately, let alone put them through private school and keep everybody as happy as they want to be. As always, folks, it's a sincere pleasure. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much for joining me, whether it's live today or viewing this in the follow-up. Have a great day, pura vida, and I look forward to hearing from you.